UFC Fight Night, Chris Duncan and Renato Moicano. We're back at the Apex again, and guess what? The card absolutely fucking sucks. What's new? Yeah, nothing. Nothing's new. But I'm doing a full card breakdown. You guys know the drill. We do this every week. Let's get straight to it. First up on the card, we have Dakota Hope versus Kai Kamaka III. I'm gonna take Dakota Hope here. This is actually a very recently added fight to this card. There's not much tape on either of these guys, but from what I can tell, Dakota Hope is a brawler. Most of his fights are finished on the ground via ground and pound, actually, and on the feet, basically just swing hooks. I don't know if I've ever seen him throw a straight punch in my life. All of the film that I see, it's him either winging hooks on the ground or winging hooks upstairs in tight. There's no jab, there's no straight, there's no punches to the body, really. It's kind of just the bell rings. If they throw a kick, catch it. That's actually one of his main ways of getting down to the ground is by catching kicks. Catch a kick, flip them over, get down to the ground, and punch their face through the canvas. That's literally his MO. And Kai Kamaka is kind of flat-footed. He's technical in the sense that he's working off of a lot of feints, which a lot of times, if you watch my other prediction videos, I love that. I love seeing guys actually work off of feint and try and find a certain combination or a certain shot, which he does do pretty well, but he is flat-footed and his hips are kind of more forward than they are his shoulders a lot of times. I don't know if that's maybe matchup dependent for who it is that he's facing or what, but if he does that against Dakota Hope's going to take him down and TKO him inside of 3 minutes. Not a lot of output from Kai. If he can weather the storm early, maybe we can see him winning a decision. It doesn't have too much finishing potential from what I've seen, but Dakota Hope is kind of just this brute that's gonna try and rip your head off with the same game plan each and every single time out. And from what we can tell, it's worked to this point. So I can see him getting in on Kai's hips. I can see him taking him down. I can see him catching a kick, flipping him, and once we do go to the ground, from the film that I've seen, not a lot of guys get up from when Dakota Hope starts punching you in the face. Yeah, we'll take Dakota Hope. I think he gets it done by first or second round KO on the ground via ground and pound. So yeah, we'll take that. Moving on. Up next, we have Lando Venata versus Darius Flowers. This is a 50-50 fight here. Oh my God, this is so tough. I'm gonna take Darius Flowers. I don't like that, but I'm going to. I've actually flip-flopped like 2 or 3 times on who I was going to take in this. Both of these guys kind of got screwed over by the UFC. You know that Lando Venata, I'm pretty sure that he fought Tony Ferguson in his UFC debut a while back. And then he fought like Mark Jacasey, Bobby Green. I'm looking at it now. He fought Charles Jourdain, Daniel Zellhuber. But since then, he hasn't fought in 3 years, which you would think, oh, well, take the other guy to win, right? Darius Flowers hasn't fought in 2 years. And he kind of got the short end of the stick in terms of matchups, too, with Evan Elder, Michael Johnson, and Jake Matthews. And Darius Flowers is actually good on paper. I do think that he's pretty solid from what I can tell. He has good takedown entries. He's good on the front foot. He has kind of a Muay Thai stance. Blasts low kicks very well. But the problem is that he gets tired. And the problem is that he has shown the susceptibility to being submitted. I mean, even in his Contender Series fight that he won, he was locked up in like a reverse triangle and just like jumped, slammed the guy, and he just got lucky that the guy like broke his collarbone. But it was because he kind of just got tired and he almost like gives up submissions. Oh man, am I going to take Lando Venata by submission? Lando Venata could win by sub. Don't bet on this fight. I don't know why these guys are signed to the UFC, dude. Lando Venata's 4-7 in the UFC and Darius Flowers is 0-3. What the are we doing? You know what? I'm going to switch my pick. I'm going to switch my pick to Lando Venata by submission. Let me switch this on here. Oh, man. It's so split, dude. If Darius Flowers doesn't land some sort of, like, crazy combination and take out Lando's leg early, he probably ends up getting taken down and submitted, I think. And the more that I'm talking about this fight, the more I'm realizing that taking Darius Flowers is kind of worse than taking Lando Venata. So yeah, I switched my pick. Taking Lando Venata. We're taking him by either TKO or submission late. Up next on the card, we have Guilherme Pat versus Thomas Peterson. This is actually one of my locks on the card, which is Guilherme Pat. Guilherme Pat's kind of a karate-style striker, which is kind of non-existent in the modern-day heavyweight MMA. He has a piston of a backhand that he uses really well because a lot of these heavyweights that kind of just trudge into range, they're fat, they don't know what the they're doing their slow. They don't realize it. They're in boxing range, and he kind of just doesn't even have to pull counter it, but he does. He'll draw out a strike, pop him with a 2, and wobble a lot of guys. The issue with that is that he doesn't, like, search for a finish after that. Like, all of the film that I've seen, he's hurting guys left and right with all of these different, like, sniper-type combinations, and he kind of just, like, eases off. That worries me a little bit, but then I realized he's fighting Thomas Peterson, and I'm pretty sure the guy's been put out cold, like, back-to-back times. I'm gonna look, because I remember the really bad one against Vitor Petrino. Oh, yeah, and then he got slept by Shamil the Blob. Yeah, dude. And he lost to Jamal Pogues. That's terrible. There is a world where Thomas Peterson does get his takedowns working and he is able to hold top control. But at the same time, I think that you really need to be perfect in order to beat Pat in this matchup, because you can't let him get to the feet, because it's going to be night and day. I think he's going to have such a big length advantage and speed advantage on the feet that it's not even going to be close. And Guillermo Pat knows how to put combinations together. He actually uses kicks at heavyweight, which again is non-existent outside of the top 5. So, I mean, it's like a whole new world for these fatter guys like Thomas Peterson, who have probably never seen a teep get thrown their way in their life, other than maybe Marcin Tabora's weak-ass teep that he throws while he fades away. That's kind of the only lower level heavyweight that I see throw teeps. Obviously, I'm kidding. It's going to be night and day on the feet, and if he can't hold him down the whole time, he's fucked, because he has no finishing ability on the ground. There's no submission threat. There's no ground and pound. So you're literally banking on the fact that he's going to be able to hold him down for 15 whole minutes. Not going to happen, because if we get to the feet, Pat's going to land. It's inevitable. I think Guillermo Pat wins this. I think he wins it by TKO in the 2nd or 3rd round, I think I put. Yes, I did. I put 2nd or 3rd round. Yeah, I don't trust Thomas Peterson. I mean, who's he beat either? I remember him beating like Muhammad Usman, who just popped for steroids and sucked, and Dontel Mays, who, like, I'm pretty sure I saw in a McDonald's commercial recently. Like, who gives a literally? You probably have an overweight friend of yours. They could probably beat Dontel Mays in a fight. Who cares? Guillermo Pat by TKO. Up next on the card, we have Azamat Bakaev versus Tresean Gore. I'm going to take Azamat Bakaev here. I don't think that he's as good as a lot of people think. I don't think he should be minus 550 at all. I think that of all the fights on this card, this one probably has the biggest chance of an upset, which is crazy to say because Tresean Gore is sloppy and he's kind of just durable, I guess. Like, he's looking to find a bomb, but at the same time, he's not setting anything up. He's more than hittable. Like, the guy just walks into shots. Like, that's probably why his eyes are too close together, is because he just walks into shots. This guy's face pisses me off just looking at it. Like, his eyes are way too close together, dude. And it's probably because he keeps taking left hooks on the chin. Stop walking into shots. And Bakaev does the same exact thing. He's just walking into shots. He's going to take 3 to give 1. But Bakaev has more power and he's more accurate and he's better at imposing his will. And it's that simple. And Azamat has actually a takedown threat, which Tresean doesn't really. I'm not even going to break this down much further. This is kind of a car crash waiting to happen. I don't think highly of either of these guys, to be completely honest with you. You know what? We'll take Azamat Bakaev. We'll take him by 2nd round TKO. Tresean Gore is I don't want to say embarrassment to the UFC, but he's not good. He's terrible. Up next on the card, we have Dion Barbosa versus Melissa Gatto. I'm gonna take Dion Barbosa here. I actually flipped. I was gonna take Gatto, but they have a very similar style of fighting. They both like getting to the takedowns and holding control time. They're not very polished on the feet necessarily, but Dion Barbosa works in her takedowns off of throws typically. She's more of a judo specialist. I think that Melissa Gatto works in more so double legs from what I remember. They both kind of just like grind up against the fence and try and land pitter-patter shots up there. And then on the feet, it's kind of not good in either direction. Neither can really work off of feints, really put extended combinations together, cut off the cage very well. So this is probably going to be a really boring fight, and it's just going to be a matter of whose style of takedown works better. I think that Dion Barbosa is probably just a little bit more physically imposing, and she looks like a man. I can see her getting her hands on Melissa Gatto and throwing her for 15 minutes. That's kind of my analysis on that. Again, I mean, there's not much to break down for a lot of these fights, so this might be a quicker prediction video, but I'm gonna trust in the fact that the throws work for Barbosa and that Gatto is a little bit too inexperienced maybe in the fact that she hasn't matched up against the style that's very, very, very similar to hers. Yeah, we'll take Dion Barbosa, I guess. Moving on. Up next on the card, we have Alessandro Costa versus Stuart Nickel. Again, I'm not going to take very long. I think Alessandro Costa is probably going to explode Nickel's heads off of his shoulders. Pause. I just said, Jesus Christ. No, but this is a mismatch of mismatches, at least on the feet. Like, Stuart Nickel is only good for his submission game, and Alessandro Costa has good takedown defense, and he has really heavy hands. He's swarming. He's actually good on the ground too. He has a submission threat of his own. But Stuart Nickel's stand-up game is fucking atrocious in every way, shape, or form. A lot of times you guys hear me say that, oh, this guy's stand-up game is his defense is terrible. Oh, he doesn't know how to circle off the cage. Oh, when he moves back, he can't get anything off. Oh, he can't move forwards and get anything off. Like, it's everything. Like, the guy is helpless. He's not good on the feet. You watching this could probably land a decently clean combination on this fight guy. It's like the Macy Barber versus Alexa Grasso fight, the first fight, where Macy Barber was just kind of like throwing punches at no one, just throwing punches to throw punches. It's kind of what he does. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's gonna get sparked clean probably. So, I mean, and he's fought really good competition too, by the way. I think that needs to be mentioned. He fought Alden Correa, he fought Steve Erceg, Kevin Borjas, yeah, Amir Albazi. He's fought really good competition. We'll take Alessandro Costa by murder, basically. Up next on the card, we have Haley Cowan versus Alice Pereira. Alice Pereira is like 20 years old, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to take Haley Cowan, actually. So Alice Pereira on the regional scene was kind of this cold-blooded finisher, and everyone was getting put to sleep, and it was like, oh my God, she's 18 years old, she's putting people to sleep left and right. She has the name Pereira. It's like, oh my God, we got a female Alex Pereira type of deal. And then she gets to the UFC, and her debut, she's circling on the back foot the whole time, like trying to flutter out low kicks and jab for 15 minutes. And she loses. And we're like, what the is this? This is not what we signed up for. So if she does that again, Haley Cowan's probably gonna just impose her will and win, because that's what happens in women's MMA. You walk forward, chances are you're putting yourself in a good spot. The one thing I will say, Haley Cowan, stop spinning. She spins way too much. I don't know why she does it. She does it for zero reason, zero setup. Not much on this fight, dude. But Haley Cowan did also kind of get screwed on her recent matchups. It was Jamie Lynn Horth and then Nora Knoll. It's like those are pretty good those are pretty good like prospects for the division. Like, those are both like ranked type of fighters, and she kind of got screwed on that, dude. She took Jamie Lynn Horth to a decision, which I like. I'll take Haley Cowan. I don't think Alice Pereira is gonna I hope she changes her fight style back to what it was, but who knows? Yeah, we're taking Haley Cowan by a boring decision. Up next on the card, we have Abdul Rahman Yakyayev versus Brenson Ribeiro. This is another lock. We're taking Yakyayev by first round TKO, submission, however you want it. It's probably not going to be close. Ribeiro is the type to need to land something big, but not try and set it up and just hope that you're like unprepared. Yakyayev is looking to get to his takedowns and you up on the ground, and he does roll for submissions at a very high clip, sometimes almost too high. I'm like, dude, let's slow down here a second. But to be fair, every time that he rolls for a submission, he gets it. So in Ribeiro's takedown defense, he's too long. Guys get on his hips way too easy. He moves back in a straight line. It's how he gets put out also. So I can see Yakyayev by a TKO on the ground or a submission. I'm gonna take him by submission just because that seems to be the theme of Yakyayev as of late. I mean, again, like, this breakdown is going to be going by pretty quick, but I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. So, moving on. Jose Delano versus Robert Ruchala. I'm going to take Jose Delano here, I think. Yeah, Robert Ruchala is a guy with autism, I think. I don't think that this guy is, like, fully there in the head. He's unorthodox. He's not really... I mean, I guess he's powerful, because he kind of throws everything with just like this reckless, like he doesn't think. He kind of just like throws and hopes. Again, it's like hope that you're not prepared type of a deal. Jose Delano's footwork is really good. His head movement is really good as well. And from what I remember, he switches stances a lot. He's hard to hit. And I think with guys like that, you need to be able to set up a shot. If they are moving a ton, you need to get them to move to a specific spot so you can land. And Ruchala's not going to do that. He's a retard. Dump the kitchen sink at you and hope something lands and try and like brute his way to a win. But Jose Delano has shown the ability to circle off the cage. He's shown the ability to hit you from different angles and set up shots while you're coming to him. So I can see him getting a TKO here. I think it'll happen probably, let's say, you know what? I'm going to say decision. Yeah, either decision or late TKO, I think. I think Robert Ruchala is just too much of an idiot and he's going to be walking into shots the whole time. Especially when they're coming from different angles. When Delano's switching southpaw, orthodox. He throws combinations from all sorts of different angles too. So yeah, we'll take Delano. I don't think Ruchala is very educated in his approach, and it's not going to go well for him. Up next on the card, we have Rafael Estevam versus Ethan Ewing. I'm going to take Estevam here. He actually missed weight too, which I think benefits him, but he's very, very grapple heavy. And he gets his takedowns typically on single and double legs, and Ethan Ewing is a boxer, and that inherently just means that you're going to be very lead leg heavy. I think that just gives Estevam the out to take him down. I think that Estevam's going to be able to win the first 2 rounds pretty handedly from just the grappling prowess that he has, and I think the 3rd round, where Estevam has historically slowed down a little bit, is probably going to set in, and Ethan Ewing's going to probably chop him up in the 3rd round, and we get a 29-28 for Estevam. Estevam's undefeated too, dude. I don't think people are understanding. Like, his top pressure is really good. He has really good ground and pound too. Like, he's not like the biggest submission threat, so to say. Like, a lot of it is just kind of hold you down and be boring. But his ground and pound, I think, is kind of slept on. Like, that's at least what I remember from the Contender Series fight. He hasn't had submissions for a while, so I think that he kind of probably just tries to pitter-patter his way on the ground. I think he will be able to get in on Ethan Ewing's hips, with Ewing being kind of newer to the UFC game. I think he kind of got gifted a matchup, actually, in hindsight, against Malcolm Wellmaker. So yeah, I think Estevam wins this probably in boring fashion, as he does, and it'll go 29-28, him losing the 3rd round. I just don't trust, like, the boxing stance is there to be exploited by these grapplers. It's like, it's happened for years and years on end, so why would I go against it now? I'm not going to. Moving on. Up next, we have Tommy McMillan versus Manolo Zucchini. Dude, Zucchini in the weigh-ins was like wearing wings on his back. This dude's a total fucking cornball. Tommy McMillan's kind of a fan favorite from the Contender Series fight. He was kind of just like screaming in the dude's face while he was trying to knee him and punch him. But McMillan does roll for submissions at a really high clip, and again, that's the finishing potential, and it is what I am going to roll with. I'm going to take Tommy McMillan to win this one by sub. Yeah, dude, I don't think Zucchini's good either. He's a cornball and he's not good. His only fight in the UFC was the Chaurier, who we found out isn't very good. He's beatable in many different ways, and he got up bad. Like, inside of, from what I remember, it was like 2, maybe 3 minutes. He's 0 resistance to Morgan Chaurier. And even on the regional scene, he fought a guy who wasn't very good. The guy subbed him. And Tommy McMillan is a very finish-heavy guy when he gets to the ground, so I think that pressure is going to get to Zucchini, and he'll probably get choked out. I don't know what it's going to be. If I had to guess, I would say actually guillotine, because of the front headlock positions that Tommy McMillan likes to have. He likes to work in the clinch and land knees, get you to dip down. He grabs that front headlock, crunches you down, and rips from there, whether it be Darce, Anaconda, guillotine, whatever it is. That's kind of where he works best, and I can see that working for him in this one. I don't think he should be this big of a favorite at all. We'll take McMillan by sub. Up next on the card, we have Verna Shandaroba versus Tabitha Ritchie. I'm gonna take Verna. Tabitha Ritchie is too much of a jack of all trades, master of none, and it's gotten her to this point, but I do think Verna is championship caliber. I understand that she lost to Mackenzie Dern. I don't think Tabitha Ritchie is anywhere near that, dude. Like, she keeps just scraping by and scraping by. Oh, split decision here, split decision here, split decision here. At what point does it stop? Because she's fought chicks that are not very good in barely scraped by. And you want to do MMA math. Yan Xiaonan and Verna Jandiroba fought. Verna beat her. Yan Xiaonan handedly beat Tabitha. And that was recent, I'm pretty sure. When did that fight happen? Tabitha fought her in 2024, and Verna fought her in 2025. Like, Verna, I can see Verna working in takedowns. Tabitha is pretty grapple. She's good at avoiding the grappling, so to say. Like, her takedown defense is good. She's good at pushing you up against the fence when you do shoot a takedown and fail, and she'll hold you there for a long time, hence why all of the Tabitha Richie fights go to a decision. Yeah, dude. I can see Verna working in grappling, getting her down maybe once or twice, holding control time, judges value it, and it's another boring Tabitha Richie fight. I can see it happening. But then at that point, it's like, they'll probably give her the decision, because it always happens. I've never seen someone so lucky with decisions, dude. Tisha Pennington, bro. We're going to a split decision with Tisha Pennington, man. I don't even care, matter of fact. I'm not breaking this down. Main event time, it is Renato Moicano and Chris Duncan, and I'm taking Chris Duncan, dude. I used to fall into the trap of saying Chris Duncan sucks. He's not good. He got slept by Manuel Torres. His style's ugly. He's not as technical as these other guys. And I took him against McKinney, and he won. And I said, listen, he's probably going to get fucked up in the first minute or two. But once the tide turns, because it does every time in a Chris Duncan fight, he'll get a finish. And he did. And I can see it happening here too. Because every single Chris Duncan fight, you're like watching this guy, and you're thinking to yourself, this guy sucks at MMA. What the fuck are we doing? And he's getting lit up, cut open, and he's bleeding everywhere. And then 10 minutes go by, and the guy he's fighting is unconscious. Or it looks worse than he does, like Mateusz Rambecki. From what I can tell in this, I can see Moicano looking to get to that body lock, slipping a shot because Chris Duncan is so slow. Moicano getting on the inside, getting to the body lock, tripping him, getting him down, and winning the first round. I think that Moicano's top pressure is really good. We saw that in the Benoit fight where he's not just going to pitter-patter his way on top. He's actually going to look to land hard ground and pound, which I do think is going to work, especially knowing Chris Duncan and the scar tissue and everything. You're going to want to open him up. You're going to want to make things ugly and try and break his will as much as you can. I don't think you really can fully, but at least, work him down and get to where he's probably not the best, which is using your speed advantage to get to your best strong suit, and in Moicano's case, that is work the grappling and ground and pound him. I think that he's probably going to try and do that again. He's going to slip on the inside in the second or third round, and I can see a guillotine happening. Chris Duncan getting into a tie clinch and landing knees, because his knees are actually probably one of the better things that he has in his game, and I can see him finishing Moicano. This is going to be a hideous fight to watch. It's going to be sloppy and bloody probably, because what Chris Duncan fight doesn't get sloppy and bloody, but that's the extent of what I see. And I can't really see much of another outcome other than maybe Duncan gets into a position where he's mounted and he can't get out, and maybe he gets TKO on the ground early. But I just don't think that that's possible, dude. Duncan just doesn't give up. Like, you're gonna have to hold him. Like we saw with Manuel Torres, you really need to put him out in order for him to stop. And I don't think Moicano has that. I think you're going to have a speed advantage early against Duncan. I think everyone is going to have a speed advantage against Duncan early. Eventually, once you slow, he's going to slowly start to come back, and you're not going to have an answer for it. So I think that happens here, and Chris Duncan is going to be ranked. That is what I got for this one. I appreciate you guys for watching. We also have I believe it's a pay-per-view card next week. I believe we have the Yuri and Olberg card. Stay tuned for that, but I appreciate you guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.